Hello, everyone! Welcome to the Geekvolution reunion show. The sudden impromptu, had no idea we were doing this reunion show. I'm Captain Logan on the floor here, and look behind me. There's a whole bunch of magnanimous folks, you know. Look at them all. Look at everybody.
Look at them.
DJ, are we broadcasting? Yes, we're live. That's so exciting.
We are live.
We're live. Yeah, we'll do it live. All right, so I'm going to get up and go back there, and DJ is going to feed me questions. DJ, thanks for being here, buddy. Thanks for modding the show. Sure, appreciate
Sure
it.
thing.
Originally, our plan for this evening, so I got Rasco. I got Rasco here. Can everybody hear me? I hope you can. I got Rasco, I got Connor. These guys flew in today from... Where'd you guys fly in from? You guys were in New York, but you guys live in different places. You live in L.A.
Yeah.
And you live in Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
And originally, I planned on just hanging out with these guys today.
Or did you never go to Portland? We never
Can you scoot up just a little bit? So
Yeah.
So originally, I was just going to hang out with these guys tonight. We were going to make a little video. And then suddenly, just everybody and his dog was available and wanted to come over. And so here we are, we're going to do stuff. It's so exciting. So starting from my right all the way around, we've got the Jeff. He knew he was coming 2 hours ago. We got Jackson Rasco. We got Connor Nielsen. We got Brandon Grimm. We got Eric Holden. And we even have Adam Meredith up to the side. Vince should be here in a little bit as well. We're so excited to be here. And once again, my chat moderator and producer, DJ Martinez.
Cheers.
What's up?
So DJ, you know what's really ironic about this whole
I'm the
thing?
Wilson of this show.
Yeah.
I was the only one with you like 2 days ago.
This last weekend, I was at your place, and it was just me and you live, and anybody else that would come in, they were all, and then now I got all these guys here. And now I'm hearing dogs freaking out, which could mean Vince. Yep. That's
the
how
biggest
we know
freak out
when
I've
people are
seen in
here.
a while.
DJ, I'm going to try to pull up comments here, but do you see some
your
folks?
Vince was a
Are there
freak
some
like
folks
me?
watching us live, DJ?
Convincing.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of questions here. You want
I'm so
one?
excited. Can you read out some names? Who's in the comments?
Noah O, Carl Maxey, Gengar Venom, King Similian, Blue Dragon 5, Bob Kane, TH1, Rainbow Color Warrior,
Did you say Bob?
Baden Fleming.
His full name is Bob Kane. Is a fraud,
Okay.
and we love him. He's wonderful.
I was gonna say I've got some harsh words from the Beyond the Great
He's
Bob
both,
Kane.
he's both truthful and insightful. He's absolutely wonderful. Okay, well, guys, we're just going to take questions for the next hour and a half, however folks feel like being here, and we might also just randomly talk amongst ourselves. Did you guys have a good flight?
Yeah, it was okay.
I slept the whole time.
Are your arms tired?
I had a mimosa.
Really?
Yeah, I really did.
I thought you were making that up.
I'm serious.
What's
I
a
know
drink I
had.
don't drink?
I slept on my arms because I was in the middle seat and I didn't want to lean onto other people.
Tiny
So-
arm wrap.
All right, this is the thing we always used to do in Star
You're
Trek
holding
when
that
somebody was
remarkably
late.
well.
Look, it's Vince! Yay! Always got to clap for Vince. Vince is late.
Very cool. Very cool.
No, he really is here.
You're not on camera
You
yet.
gotta sit here, Vince. We just started the live show.
You gotta come
Thing of honor.
further.
into the interrogation zone.
Okay, now you're all anyone can see. No, Vince, we're gonna have to sit here.
It'll be way off camera
That
over there.
will not pick you up.
We already can't see it.
Yeah, I'm not in the shot.
Adam's already off camera.
DJ, why don't you throw a question at us? We'll get started, man. You guys can ask questions. Any and all of us. We're just gonna do kind of a big panel.
Howdy, fellas.
Hi, Vince. Let's get to see
And you as well. Howdy, sir.
And you get a card.
Hey, you joined that Conan group. I saw you.
Yeah! I love me some Conan.
Let's go ahead and get into some random questions, shall we? DJ, what do you see, man?
All right, this is from Balin, son of Fundin. It's topical. He says, DJ and Cap, what do you think of the rumor that Black Panther 2 will be based on Doom War?
Why do you only care about DJ and Cap? We have 19 people here.
Well, I think he asked this before the big reveal. I think this was early. It's a pre-written.
I had not heard about that, so I have no thoughts.
I have heard that rumor.
Awesome. Moving on.
I know it's a story that heavily involves Black Panther. I can't imagine they'll actually make Doctor Doom the Black Panther villain.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Now that you say that, yeah, I've been hearing people say like, oh, they'll probably use Doom.
I hope
and,
not.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of talk that they want to finally start bringing in like trickle in characters that they haven't used yet from the Fox stuff, and I think it's a lot more likely that we see some of that stuff in a Spider-Man movie. Don't you? since they seem to have to use stuff from Marvel.
We
that's
know
not
that
just
he
Spider-Man.
wanted to do Kraven
Gotta live
in
the
Black
plan.
Panther, and they told him he couldn't do that. So maybe he would be open to doing something like Doom.
Yeah. Eric, do you still think that it's almost certain that if they do Kraven, it will be the whole Wakandan?
No, I just love that idea. I like there's doesn't seem to be any necessarily evidence, but I love the idea of Wakandan Kraven, especially knowing that director wanted to use Kraven in Black Panther. Like that would be cool. No, I'm super on. Apparently, people are down on it. I love that idea. I think it's an awesome way to interpret him.
DJ, let's do another question or two, and then I'm going to go round robin a little bit and just check in with folks that haven't been on the channel for a while, see what everybody is up to. And stuff.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, can I talk about everyone's love for Vince in the chat?
Yes. Everybody's very excited. Vince. Yeah.
Very cool.
Blue Dragon 5 says Vince's epic return. Haven't seen Vince since 2010. I'm so happy.
For the record, he's been here since 2010.
He's not a fan of the Phantom or the Zorro. That would be it. Thank you.
Carl Maxey said
Commentary on something somebody gives a crap about, apparently.
I like things no one likes. What can I say?
Carl Maxey said Vince came in like Captain Marvel.
Is Vince the Deus Ex Machina of Geekvolution? Is that what we're calling it?
Everything
And Blue
was
Dragon-
worst, and Vince appeared.
That did make everything better.
He
Once it was
restored the
happening, I felt
nobleman's
an
lost
energy in the
land.
room that I didn't
The young
feel
couple
before.
marry.
He came in like Captain Marvel. There was a real big PR push to try to get everybody to pay attention to Vince's arrival.
It was the clapping.
And then he said something stupid at an award show, and now everybody hates him.
Oh, zing.
And Blue Dragon 5 asks if you can say your catchphrase, Vince.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And it's nice to be here.
So the answer is no. You're not getting that.
I'm Vince.
Is that his catchphrase?
That's his
I think it
catchphrase.
is my catchphrase.
Okay.
He made a whole video where he strung together and I'm Vince.
Interesting.
He might have been talking about your comic book store thing. I don't know which one he was talking about.
My comic book store thing.
Support your local comic book store.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, that's been a while.
Yeah, but amusingly, he didn't actually come up with that.
That's true,
It's
yeah.
just a thing I made people say for a while. They're all gonna die anyway. So there's really. I'm kidding. I still love comic book stores.
You're terrifying.
I am.
He's both terrifying and he's gonna constantly throw out references that no one will understand. DJ.
Here's a
Free
good one that everyone can
association,
answer.
man. It's in the Constitution.
Here's a good one that everyone can answer. From Bob Kane is a fraud. Who is your favorite Superman?
Who is everyone's favorite Superman? Let's do it rapid fire, round robin, very quickly. Adam, favorite Superman, go.
Dean Cain, no.
Really?
No.
I love Dean Cain. That's a legitimate
That's
response.
fine.
That's
Dean
Eric's.
Cain's my favorite. He's
Are you
my
making fun
childhood-
of Eric's? Yeah, Dean Cain. Nobody will say that. The man's sitting next to you.
He's my
We
childhood
had Dean
Superman.
Cain in studio right here.
It's Dean Cain! Okay, does anybody else agree with Connor that that Connor kind of looks like Dean Cain?
I can see it a little bit. A
Does
little
that mean
bit.
he's a fraud? Oh, that's Bob Kane.
He's called me Dean Cain for years now. I don't
I
necessarily
thought
get
this was
it.
like a new development.
No, this is long running.
You definitely
Yours
look
get
more
longer.
like Dean
Well, I
Cain
would've
than
said the
anyone else
small
here.
but I don't know his name.
That's
Hard to
tough.
argue with logic like that.
That's tough. Hey, Brandon, who's your favorite Superman?
Favorite Superman, Christopher Reeve.
Vince.
I'm gonna go with All-Star Superman.
Yeah. He's not even gonna do the actor thing.
That's right. Unless you really want an actor,
Well,
in
who
which
voiced
case.
him in All-Star Superman? It's that guy.
It's that guy. He's fine.
Yeah, actually, if we're gonna include voice actors, Tim Daly.
Oh,
why
Tim
not?
Daly.
Sure.
Without a doubt, if we
He's
include voice
wonderful.
actors.
Wait, Tim
Best
Daly from
Superman.
Wings?
Yeah, he voiced him in the animated series. 3 seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one of the monkeys
The
was
90s?
Arthur for this first season of
Yeah,
Tick.
the
There's
90s
crazy
one? Yeah, that's
casting
Tim
choices
Daly.
everywhere.
Wow.
Jeff, do you have a favorite Superman?
Michael Stipe.
Who's
Michael Stipe.
Oh,
He's
boy.
from REM. What are you talking about?
When was he Superman? He sang a song,
He sang a
about
song about
Superman.
Superman. In which he said, I am Superman, and I know what's happening.
Free association.
I guess I'm wondering why I invited
Collateral
him.
thinking.
Do you have a real answer?
I don't really know the answer.
Rasco.
Dean Cain.
Is it because you're best friends with him?
Yeah, I mean, call me
I think we're going to
biased.
go with Dean
We
Cain
gotta clap
collectively.
for it.
And my favorite's Christopher Reeve. For going comic books, I think Grant Morrison writes the best Superman. So
I also have to say Christopher Reeve. And comic books, I guess at the moment it's year one or not year one. Earth one.
You mean to tell me that
John
Bendis
Byrne
isn't your favorite?
Still for me, John Byrne.
Yeah, I mean I also love John Byrne's Superman, but I've never read all of it, so I feel weird about saying it.
I've also not read all of it, but
Yeah. Okay, hey, let's just go round robin, talk to these guys a little bit, act like a game show host, and see how everybody.
You are
is
a game
doing.
show
I'll take
host.
obscure references for 500, Alex.
So we're gonna start with the folks that just got here. It's so cool to see you guys in person. Rasco, I've hung out with before. We are. So I want to mention because this is a thing that's very special to me and Eric and Rasco. We caused the downfall of Toys R Us. The three of us went to Toys R Us in Metropolis. We got thrown out, and then 6 months later, the whole company folded.
people were so offended at us being thrown out.
Yeah. We caused the
How
demise
did
of
you
Toys R
That
Us.
video go up?
yourselves
Did we
thrown
put that
out of
video
Toys
up?
R
We,
Us?
we did.
Okay, so we are responsible.
I'm
We
surprised
are
Toys R Us
definitely-
didn't in the 11th
You
hour
were saying
force us to take it down.
Geekvolution also has a private equity firm.
Another Jeffrey's toy box found in your local grocery store. Where are they popping
Question
up?
mark? They're supposed to. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, one opened. I saw a headline like Jeffrey's toy box. Where's
One
Jeffrey's toy box?
Wasn't it
You're
a
going to
Macy's?
hear about another chapter 11.
Is it?
Like,
Macy's?
It's
in
in
Macy's.
another store.
Yeah, it's in another
I
store,
think
but
Kroger was
well,
involved with
there's
that.
there's a couple of standalone stores that we're gonna do too.
Yes.
But they're in association with whatever store
And I think
bought
it was,
them
I
out.
think
Okay.
it was
It's like the
Kroger.
soft reboot of Toys R Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Remember
Yeah.
KB Toys said they were going to come back 2 years ago? They're like,
Well,
we've got big
Toys R Us
plans for
owns KB
Christmas.
Toys, so it's going to be kind of hard for them to come back.
So I guess somebody
They
else
they probably liquidated that asset or something.
But yeah,
Yeah,
this
somebody else
is
has that
this is my first time seeing Connor in person. Hi, Connor.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Happy to.
Thanks for coming all the way here so that you could do a show that we could have done remotely. But it's really cool to have you guys here. So
We're
what is-
IRL.
So what is new with you guys, Rasco? I haven't had you on camera in over a year. What's happening with you, man? What are you up to?
I'm gonna be a little bit mysterious because I'm a mysterious person. But there's some secret projects in the works, and you may be able to see them on the internet at some point in the near future.
Is it a Rocky commentary?
That might be one of them.
Rasco and I have been talking about Rocky commentaries forever. We've never done it
Are you gonna do Bullwinkle too?
for like 3 years.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah, kind of like a sequence commentary.
I know. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So,
They've got that complete series on DVD now. It's like $20, $30.
for Sequest?
Sequest.
Including
Remember
3?
Sequest.
I'm pretty
Box
sure.
Finally?
I'm pretty sure I
There's
randomly
five?
stumbled upon it.
Oh!
I'll send you the link.
That would be great, because right now we just have files
I couldn't-
illegally downloaded.
I couldn't remember if you got 3 or not, but no, I definitely saw a complete series box set. Like on Amazon. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Why? Why did they do it now?
Because
Why
it's,
now?
it's one of those like bargain complete series thing where they all come in the paper sleeves.
Papers.
Have you bought any of those?
I've never seen this.
This is how we're releasing. Like you can get all of the Rockford piles for like $30. They're just in paper sleeves.
Really?
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to ask you to be
So
more
like
specific
Paddington
than you
Bear.
want to be, but like, where are you
Yeah,
living
it's a good
now?
stuff.
Like, what's
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
happening? Like, do you have a job?
Still living in LA. And that's all you get to know unless you take me on a date. That's it.
What are you doing on
Buy
Tuesday?
the man dinner.
I can't believe he.
He turned it into video games.
I can't believe he agreed to even show up. Is like I'm
Without a
I'm
mask or anything.
Yeah, it's amazing. What about you, Connor?
What would you like to know? I'm honestly like
You live in Portland.
I live in Portland, or I actually live outside of Portland in Gresham, Oregon, and I work at Boeing.
You build airplanes.
I build airplane.
Do you hang out with Bendis and Fraction and Rocca?
Yeah, Kelly Sudaconic, we grab dinner every Tuesday, which is pretty fun.
He actually took a class from Sudacon.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
But for anybody that doesn't know that.
Yeah, Valentin Delandro. Yeah, he's a cool guy. I'm just I moved to an apartment about 6 months ago. At this point, I don't know, but it's just living my life, working and trying to put together some projects. I'm been
It's
Tapping on
making
the
some
keyboard.
lists that you might see pretty soon. So
It's possible he made a list of potential Rocky commentaries.
yeah, potential Rocky. I might be there for 3, but definitely there for 4.
On the fence of where The Rock counts.
Yeah.
Or not
just
the
a piece of
actor,
The Rock.
the movie.
Vince, we've seen you on the channel recently for a couple commentaries, but we haven't really talked much about things happening in your life. You had a daughter around the exact same time that I had, that Sarah and I had Mikey, like 2 days. Which of us was first? I want to say we delivered it first.
Vince was
Yeah.
first.
You know, I think you were. What's Mikey's birthday?
See, I don't remember. And I knew you were going to ask me that, and I should, but I don't right off remember. It's
We were in the hospital
it's
for
in July.
just
I don't
shy of
remember.
a week. So
When
You
when
might have
is-
gone in first, but
Hey
not
Vince,
gone
when
out
is
first.
hers? Because it's either 2 days before that or 2 days after.
because
The day after tomorrow.
the birth story was I won't belabor it.
In the time when Caesar Augustus.
In
the
the
dawn of
beginning,
time.
there was a light.
Having children.
Quirinius was governor of Syria.
In a world where it takes two to make a child.
It's the
And a
Star
village
Child at
to
the end of
raise them.
2001.
You know.
But anyway,
So
Where were we?
she was supposed to be. She was due on the 18th. We went in early because health reasons, and we stayed for 6 days. So now I'm like, what's her birthday again? Let me text my wife.
Does she get a birthday week?
She works for me, man.
It's like Hanukkah.
I think Mikey deserves that now. I can't remember his freaking birthday.
You get 8 days of presents.
Halloween.
They're
My
all
son's
like-
birthday is August 23rd.
Yeah, thanks for rubbing it in.
My son,
Oh.
Look, if it was my first,
my son born just 2 weeks after Cap's son.
But it's your
My-
first kid, right?
The reason I'm standing behind you all is so that I can just walk off in shame at any point.
I want to say it's the 20th, but because it was 6 days in a row worth of, is she coming? Is she not coming? Is my wife gonna die? You know, that was kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't have any of those things, and I can't remember.
I feel like it should be like. Ba-dum-ba-ba-wah.
I'm so bad with numbers. Like I only just memorized the number on my house like a week ago.
I'm sure if you
Like, I
got
finally
to
figured
your
that
channel
one out.
and searched
Do you know when you
the
passed your
post-
kidney
post
stone?
video that you would have posted, then you could figure out the day from
I
that.
thought you were gonna say I finally figured out Christmas. Like I know every year now when Christmas is gonna fall.
Finally.
You know, last month Friday the 13th
I
fell on a
finally
Friday.
have the true meaning of Christmas. I know when that is. But yeah, Vince, what else do you want to tell us about going on in your life, man?
Still in the Casey area, still doing PT and stuff for a living. The and stuff is super interesting part.
It's cage fighting.
Is it actually an ampersand stuff?
That's right.
Well, now because of how cagey Rascal was, everybody thinks he's doing porn.
Who says I'm not?
He's got some big projects coming
Vince
out.
just has a cooking show.
Every set needs a fluffer. I mean, come
Lots
on,
of rabbits
God.
are cagey.
Bandana porn.
It's not after dark.
It's not after
Too
dark.
much cursing, so it's okay.
I can't get past it.
That's all you wear.
A lot of people have that problem, actually.
That's so good.
How do you wear the bandana?
That's for you to figure out.
Orange or
In
glad I said
strategic
bandana.
places.
Hey Jeff,
What?
what's
What?
new with you, man?
I am doing a lot of different kinds of music in a lot of different places around and in the Kansas City Gravity Well, including a lot of jazz playing. I'm still playing organ on one of the finest, oldest, pretty largest, and most decrepit instruments in the Kansas City Metro.
That's awesome.
And
Where would that be located?
I'd get in trouble if I said. But it's quite a deal. And writing a lot. I just sent this last week 4 different pieces to contests. So
So when you say writing, you mean writing music?
music, yeah. I tried writing comic books, but I didn't have the right head for it. Too much harmony. Not enough dark, introspective, self-questioning characters.
You can always write a story in song,
I thought
like
about
just
it.
by the notes, spell things out.
Or do like a comic book opera of some kind.
That could be interesting. Or a silent comic book that has like accompanying music that has all the dialogue.
Yeah.
You don't want to say new inventions.
That,
out
no,
loud.
no one's ever done that. Somebody should do that, right? Like a
Somebody's
silent
done
comic
this.
book that has a soundtrack you listen to with dialogue.
Yeah, because there's
Turn
there's
the
a lot
page
of
now.
concept albums.
Man, that was what we
become
got in grade
comics
school.
Or written in conjunction with that. But
The
I've never seen a
pioneers
wordless
crossed the
one.
west
That's
in
a
wagons
great
such as
idea.
this
Yeah.
one.
But then pacing becomes an issue. Could
That's
you
fine.
imagine, like, you're supposed to read it, right?
You'd have
And
to have
then-
something that tells you
and then
how
it-
fast to turn.
What I was going to say is it tells you, like, at a certain timestamp you turn the page, where it's like 45 seconds in. It's like Fantasia,
Yeah,
the
there's just
comic
a ding.
book, is what I'm imagining.
What if-
There's got to be some way to rig up a
I had like
PDF file.
Indiana
of that.
Jones and like Crusade one of those, and they did like a whip.
What if you also had?
I
What-
I had.
What if you also had the
It was
running
like
song
it was like
in
a,
the panel that people who do music could follow along to?
Yeah.
no lightsaber was the effects for
It
lightsaber.
wouldn't be
Some
terribly
kind of
hard.
Acrobat plug-in where it would
Marvel also released a theme song to War of the Realms when that came out some
Really?
months ago. So
They
yeah,
released
Why?
Spider-Gwen
Was it
song.
awkward?
it wasn't bad. It was. It wasn't exactly a song. It was an orchestral piece, as I recall it.
Those aren't songs.
So it's a track.
But
You know,
Spider-Gwen
anything
did get
nobody
the song.
sings in, can you really call it a
It's
song?
like it was supposed to be like
Was it like
four
a
bands.
Guardians of
Oh,
Inferno.
cool.
Yeah, I want to say that. So I
You
think
should
I
do a
got
whole
it.
album, though, right? If you're going to do
There would be a
Spider-Gwen.
piece.
Like,
Yeah.
that'd be really cool. I don't know why I never thought of that.
Or a track would be. I wouldn't say that I was listening to a song by a Tribe Called Quest if nobody sings. If it's rap, would you call it a track? Like orchestral
Oh,
piece.
yeah.
I like that. That makes sense. So I was listening to tracks, pieces, and songs on the same day because I just put it on random.
Pieces of
dropping some
tracks.
bars, you know.
Jeff,
I breathed it in.
should we take this opportunity to mention the thing we're about to talk about?
May as well.
You want to talk about that?
No, I want you to talk.
You want me to
about
talk about? No, I just mean us. Should we talk
Yeah.
about that?
Oh, well,
I
that's what
on
you're missing.
Blu-ray, which I don't understand how that works.
So Jeff and I are about to start working on a Tick project finally. We're gonna go through a bunch of Tick stuff. I don't want to give away format and stuff yet, but we have a lot of plans for that. It's gonna be exciting. And at the moment, the plan is to make it its own channel. It will be the first Geekvolution spin-off channel. You know, it will be nothing
Oh,
but
wow.
Tick
It'll be a
own channel.
second. Next Generation.
Well, that's true. Jason's channel. Yeah. That's
Tick
good. I
Volution.
feel bad for not thinking of that. I can't remember my kids' birthdays. I can't remember things they do that I spun off.
That's
I
a
remember you
literal
used to have one
spin-off
called
of you
Jason.
in your son.
It has the word Geekvolution in it, and I forgot it. Yeah, well, in my defense, he hasn't posted anything in like a year, so.
So update for anyone that's like dying. $90
Dance,
for the
Dance,
Sequest
Geekvolution.
Complete Series.
1 through 3.
I'd play that.
He said,
Yeah.
wow. But,
It
but
looked
it's
import-
official? It's real?
And it looked imported. I
It
don't
has
know.
that
It's
sticker.
got those
You
weird
have like a
stickers
pad
on
with
it.
like
Well,
different
that
it
makes
doesn't
you
look like a
franchise
different region.
titles on
I-
it.
Okay, all right. I don't think that's official, though,
Stop the heck.
but maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got Universal on it.
Marvel,
You
Superman.
can put that on there pretty easily.
Excellent.
Hey, Brandon, what's new with you, man?
Well, it's the new year.
Shazam.
It is.
Same old me.
That's new with everybody, man.
Yeah, it's same old me though, I guess.
Yeah?
You know, nothing's new. Oh, I'll tell you this. I was driving down the road the other day and I had to make a left turn and there were some people crossing the road and they
You
were
killed,
crossing
like,
very
10
slowly.
people.
No, they were crossing very slowly. So I stopped for them.
And now
And
I'm
there was a
charged
giant
with
the metro. one of the metro
My
buses was
radio
behind me.
next
Were behind
Thursday.
me.
I
They
got on
they
bond.
honked at me. The bus honked at me because I was waiting for pedestrians.
How dare you wait for people?
No more
kidding.
buses.
And I assume the bus being as big as it is, I assume the bus driver could see the pedestrians. I don't know, but that's, I mean,
Bus drivers really don't care about pedestrians.
I guess
I
not.
saw Speed. That's true.
I mean,
We
that's
happen to be fair,
in the
those people
job
try not to
description.
explode.
You saw Speed, man.
I saw Speed. It's just
Dude.
cans.
So folks are
I saw
asking...
speed reading.
Folks are asking what we're going to call the Tick channel. And like I said, the plan is to make that a channel. It could end up just turning into a series, but I still really like the channel idea. We're gonna review episodes and comics and just talk all things Tick. And we're gonna call it Tickopedia. Tickopedia, because it bugs me that the Tick wiki is not called Tickopedia. It's right there, and so that's what we're gonna call our channel. Hey Adam, what's new with you, man?
Nothing really.
Good story.
It's
Started. I'm doing a different job at work now. It's
Does it pay better?
yeah.
That's good.
Good. Better
Created by
pay.
the sovereign to destroy the Guardian.
All we'll say is he works for the government.
I don't want to say that. Yeah. There are.
I can't say you work for the government.
Just don't say anything about it.
No, I
Because they're
won't.
like.
Can I say you work for the government? Can I
Consideration.
say that
He
though?
could tell
You
you.
could just yeah.
Can I say you work
You've
for
already said it, so
Can I
say
say you work for a government?
Yeah.
It's the MIB, okay? He works for the MIB.
It's
Oh.
black eyes.
Well, I feel
There's a
bad.
thing called the Hatch Act. I don't want to, for some reason, violate that by accident or something. I don't know.
Oh,
The hatch.
But you
I'm sorry,
wouldn't
I didn't
have,
feel like
he
that was
would
too
have.
much detail. That was, he works for the government.
It's not.
So you can't chop down trees.
What?
Well,
Oh,
he
that's
can't
the
have
hatch.
hatch.
See, hilarious. Hey, Eric, do you want to talk about
Catch
anything?
hatch fever.
No, I got nothing going on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cat
Not that I can think of. Now I'm worried that there's something I've forgotten. Nope, just working.
Hey, DJ, let's take some more questions, man.
All right, we got a lot of super chats.
Hey,
You want me to
DJ,
get into
what's
those?
new with you, man?
Questions?
Oh, nothing. Just had this crazy guy staying in my house for a few days. Finally got rid of him. We jumped on a trampoline a little bit.
We did jump on a trampoline. So DJ
That's what made the
is...
kidney so descend.
So DJ is amazing. He does like backflips and front flips and things, and he's like a martial
Both
arts
of them.
guy.
Good for babies
And,
and kidney stones.
He made me jump on the trampoline with him while he was doing that, and nearly knocked me out a few times.
Did
Like,
you double
No,
bounce
you
him?
I did not double bounce him. He was very nervous.
Well, he didn't actually hit me, but he came really close.
Did you have Mo Bounce in the house?
What?
I like
It's
when
almost
there's
like
more
somebody
people
scripted
here because
this
then I'm
where
not
he
the only
says
one
a
that
thing
does
and you
that.
just go, huh?
Off
the correct
camera, no
response
less.
to everything
You just
I
hear
say
him off
ever.
camera. You hear this, huh, from the other side.
So we call this a reunion show, and if you go watch talk shows where they go back and they do like TV reunions with like casts like
Yeah,
from
I'm
10 or
gonna show
20 years
clips.
ago,
I'm gonna
it
show
always
clips.
looks like exactly what we did
That's
here.
what I was thinking earlier
need a
when we sat
commentary.
down.
And it's also always this awkward where it's like,
It's
how
like
do
a
you get
cast
19
interview.
people to all talk at the same time?
It's a cast interview, is what
We
it
need a
is.
coffee table.
Yeah. No, we should have got somebody to come down that doesn't know us at all
Yeah,
to
you
just
could
ask us
look-
random
you could, like,
questions.
show
Well, I
old
guess it's
clips.
DJ, but he knows us. And
Hey,
he's also
remember
part of
when you were Neville?
DJ, I wish you
Say
were
something
here.
fun.
I wish you were in the room with us.
Go get Mikey. He can
From
ask us
5 years ago.
He won't eat it. He hates everything.
DJ, let's do some more questions, man.
All right, first super chat is from DVID22. He says, the band back together. Who's Kirk, Spock, and McCoy?
Oh, well, there's only a few people you just asked. Yeah.
I mean, he only gave me 3
I
options, man. I don't know what you
I
want.
mean, who's sitting in the captain's chair right now? Jeff. So I guess
Jeff.
at the moment that makes
Jeff
Jeff Kirk,
Kirk.
and then I'm Spock because I'm standing up,
Yeah.
and then McCoy would.
He's
be
in
But
blue.
no, but McCoy's still alive.
He's
too.
Cap.
No, but
You could be
McCoy's not on the
Kirk
bridge,
because
and
he's
you're
the
almost
captain.
off camera, so that makes you McCoy because nobody can see.
I
you.
wanted to
I'm
be in
Abraham
Banga.
Lincoln
You want to be Mbanga?
Mbanga.
in space.
And I get to die.
That's true.
Well.
No, Dean Kane was never on Star Trek, but he should have been. That would have been cool.
I'm
be
proud of
on
your
the
Star
show.
Trek joke there.
Yeah.
I am.
The big kid for Picard.
Reveal, Dean Kane.
What else, DJ?
The next super chat is from Azim.
Yeah.
He says, holy crap, Cap, it's the Avengers
You
of
got
criminally
two red shirts
undersubscribed
on.
pop culture commentators. He says, the second coming of Vince, this show's worth the blasphemy.
Vince has been back. Vince has been back since I
Dead.
knew.
Jesus.
He has.
He's the one that counts as the
Everybody
second.
makes a big deal out of it. Now, to be fair, the last couple of videos Vince has been on, he's not been on camera,
He did that Q&A thing.
which I forgot to post.
Oh! Because I walked through that video.
For the record, I still have it. I will post it. I'm sorry, Vince. You can punch me later. I just realized as
So
you
there's
said that I
one
never
down.
posted it.
You don't have
So-
like, are you,
I almost said the same thing. I was going to be like, well, we had that cute. Oh, crap. I never posted that.
I'm
I'm
getting
sorry.
worried.
Birthday
That's why this
You
counts
know,
as the
on
second
your
coming.
Alzheimer's
The list
or
goes
something
on.
here.
I think
Forget
so.
his name.
I think so. I can't remember anything.
Because time is
At
non-linear.
what point does it cease being early and just become onset Alzheimer's?
I don't know.
Deep.
Yeah. What does onset mean? Just like suspiciously,
That
you may have
happened.
that. I don't know.
I just
Early
know-
onset.
That's the thing
Yeah,
you get
early
with
on.
cars,
Early
where
to
the
just
car knows where you
onset.
are.
I saw that Julian Moore movie, Still Alice, and she was like 50, and she
Yeah.
had it, and they call it early onset. So
Oh,
I
okay.
guess
Is
that-
it early
So
because
then-
she's younger? Is it
So
like
you're
I'm
like
35
pre-early.
and I can't remember
You're
my kids'
pre-early?
birthdays? So
But that doesn't sound like you're supposed to get it.
Yeah.
Like it's early. Like we all get it. But
You're ungodly early onset
God.
Alzheimer's.
okay, I'm hoping
As
people.
compared to traditional.
I'm hoping
onset,
some folks
this
in the
is-
comments, if you have cool questions, ask a few individual stuff. I want to hear
yeah,
some
I'm
stuff
gonna
from
leave in like next 5 minutes.
Yeah, so
so
if you have anything specifically for Eric, he's going to leave here in a little bit.
Let's ask
He
Eric.
thinks he's
All right.
leaving.
This next super chat has a question in it, I promise. TH1, he says, what video for Geekvolution that each one of you guys were in was the most fun for each of you guys to make? I love seeing the family back together. You rock.
Hey, that's awesome.
I
That's
have
great
a
question.
really easy answer.
Go ahead.
The Wolverine.
Yes, the Wolverine. That was hilarious. So we did Marvel. That was the worst, but I'm not going to do it again.
Wolverine?
Marvel
No,
Mania. saw the Wolverine commentary where two very amusing things happened. First of all, neither of us could remember anything that happened in that movie.
Well, that's because we get sidetracked and we lose track of the plot.
And why did we
And
get
neither of us had
sidetracked?
watched it recently because of the sex hotel.
Because of the sex hotel. That's right. And I'm going to leave it at that. You just got to go back and watch the video.
This
Is a sex hotel a brothel?
And Cap was like, "This is why I want to go to Japan." And I was like, "The sex hotel." So
I mean, you
just
make a
the
good
argument.
point there, Vince.
Yeah.
And that became a whole thing.
Yeah, it became a whole thing, and I'm still hearing about it.
Or it could be
We'll
just
go
a
over.
seedy place
Wait,
down on
yeah.
It just blew out, and there
By
was
the
the
hour.
Raptor Room.
Yes, the
I
Raptor
used to go to
Room.
seedy places, but they're all closed now.
No, it's not.
Let's go back here because you guys haven't got to talk in a while.
Oh, that
do you guys have
tickled
favorite videos?
I do. I know mine is.
Yeah.
The CW crossover videos that I did with you.
I missed doing those.
Those
And
were so
I wish you could have
fun.
been on Crisis this year.
Yeah.
I was there for one of those. I hadn't watched. I just listened to the two
And
of
we
you
talked
talk
for
about
like
it.
an
It was
hour.
very fun.
Yeah.
It was
no,
very fun.
It was a great time.
Connor?
I liked making Who Reviews the Reviewers videos for you guys. That was a lot of fun. But if I had to pick one where we were talking, I'd say the Why the Last Man videos. I don't know how many of those actually got published, but
we made 3. I think the third one actually never got up for whatever reason. I can't remember.
well, those are fun because that series is amazing. So
Yeah. No, those are really good discussions. Okay, so Connor, I'm going to ask you what you think your best Who Reviews the Reviewers video was, and see if it's the one I think it is.
oh, it's my new Nightmare review. That's easily my best video for that, Jim.
I disagree.
Oh, what do you think it is?
Birdman.
The Birdman video?
Absolutely.
That was the most fun to make for sure. But I
I
actually
did a oneer where he had to memorize the entire script. It was like a 5-minute video, and he walks from inside his house all the way outside and back, and it's amazing.
that was a lot of fun to do. If I could go back, I'd change.
But the review itself was also really good. It was just
I would change the actual review though because I don't like that movie. And
you were giving it too much praise.
It just won Best Picture. I rewatched it, and it's a very technically impressive film, but I don't get a lot out of it on an emotional or
That
visceral
ending
level.
sucks.
And I do think the final act it builds up a lot of characters and then doesn't do anything with them, and it becomes all character centric, and then it gets ambiguous, and I don't know. It has one of
I've
the
never gone back to it, and I
Yeah,
still love it
exactly.
from the first viewing. And
He
so
has such an obvious better ending.
yeah.
Which is that he realizes,
No, but I have that too.
which
I
is
mean, I
that
agree.
he gets stuck in doing the artsy part, and he realizes it's just as bad. That is the obvious ending. Is like, oh, I'm still trapped in a part. It's just a different part.
Yeah.
That is clearly how that movie's supposed to end.
And by supposed to, you mean that's where it's all headed.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
If I had to redo that review, I'd give that movie a 6. I think it's very technically impressive, but I still
And the
enjoy
performances are amazing.
the performances. Naomi Watts was snubbed for a Best Supporting Actress. She's always great, and I think that Michael Keaton should have won. I don't know
Yes, he
why we
should
gave
have.
it to Eddie Redmayne. But I think it's weird that the best thing about that movie did not win an award, but the worst thing about it, which is that the screenplay won the award for original screenplay.
And then it got Best Picture, but it didn't get Best Actor.
But it did win Best Director, it won Best Cinematography and all that.
Okay.
And all that stuff's impressive, and I like a lot about it, but as a whole, I don't find it very satisfying, and I don't want to go back to it. Not because I can't, but I just don't really want to go back
You don't feel
to it.
compelled.
All I remember is I like Boyhood better.
I love Boyhood. I love Boyhood.
Hey, DJ, just to involve you more, because I'm sorry, I know you're over there and we're all in here, but do you so far have a favorite video you've been in?
Oh, I wasn't expecting to have to talk.
This one right now.
Is it Alpha's Magical Christmas?
Yeah, is it Alpha's Magical Christmas?
Oh my, no. Definitely not. I don't know. Probably one of those goofy Power Rangers things we did. I don't
Is it
remember.
the
I
live
don't
show
remember.
with the
Yeah.
big
Can't
Zed
watch this stuff.
balloon?
Yes, no, that actually was. That was amazing. But just seeing the utter joy on Cap's face when that Zed balloon popped up was a lot of fun.
That's-
Oh man, but going along with something you guys just talked about.
Zed balloons.
Let's see if other folks have favorite videos. Vince, do you have a favorite video?
Let's go with kind of a category O videos.
Yeah, sure.
I like the ones that were
Spawn
Yeah,
ridiculous.
That's mine.
I like the silly ones. I liked Basketball. I liked the Christopher Walken ones. I
What about the
liked the
Jarrell one?
video about nothing. I liked the
What
Jarrell
about
ones.
Cooking with Dooms, Vince?
Good, yeah, that was
Right.
good.
No, those are great.
I
So
forgot that was Dooms, Vince. That wasn't you.
I don't know who that guy is, man. He's just a weird,
Evil
freaky
evil
dude,
man.
man.
Little known fact, we actually recorded a Nothing video part 2 for one of the patrons once. So there's one guy that's seen the sequel to the Nothing video.
Dang.
And that was like 4 years ago.
Those were
It's
my
a very
favorites.
exclusive club.
It is, yep. Hey, Brandon, do you have a favorite video?
I do. I've got a couple of. They're both projects, but they're tied basically. As long-time viewers might know, I've been a lot behind the camera for Cap as well, too, filming things and also providing special effects and things. And one of my favorite things was working with you on Spawn Year.
On specifically the board game episode.
On the board game episode, doing the hand puppet for the sentient jacket.
That was ridiculous.
Doing
it
the
took us
floating
like an hour to rip a comic book. It was great.
And so that was so much fun. So that's a really good one. But also, I've been around the country with you, and like the trip that we took for
Midwestern panels,
Midwestern panels is by far like the pinnacle of what we've done so far. And that was such an epic trip. It was 2,000 miles.
It was whacked out on peyote and quaaludes. It was an epic trip.
Roaring into Las Vegas on the I-15.
Despite my foot not being great on that trip, it was wonderful. It was just an experience.
It was like being constantly not at the Roxbury. He's like...
Yeah, that whole trip was just...
Carrying this powdered adrenal gland.
Anyway.
Still
Adam,
on this
you've
epic
mostly
trip,
just been on Star Trek stuff, but do you have a favorite video?
Oh God.
I mean, you have done a fair bit at this point.
C-Lab.
Story and commentary.
It's C-Lab.
A future video is his favorite video.
His favorite video is Sequest when we make
Well,
Sequest.
we've done some videos, you and I together. We did, what did we do? No. Stargate.
Stargate. Well, we did some yeah, we did Stargate.
Ryan Sequest.
We did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
What else did we did something else.
We did a couple with Brandon that weren't Star Trek. We did Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
We did Roger Rabbit. Last Starfighter was not a commentary. That was a
watching.
But we did do that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, no, Adam's actually been on quite a few videos. Hey, Jeff, do you have a favorite video?
Well, not a single one, but somewhere, if I'm serious, probably the Pixar series we did.
Yeah, which we never finished, and we should
Love
get
that
back to.
too.
Sure.
If I'm not serious, then hands down the Power Rangers ones that I was in. Because that was just screamingly fun to do.
Yeah, and we are going to bring that back, and you are absolutely invited to come back.
Oh, you're bringing the show back?
It's
That's one I
possible
never got to come
only
over
two
for.
people in the world cared about those besides us. That was screamingly fun to
I'm
do.
glad you specified besides us. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like we
Of
somewhat.
the three of us,
There was only two of them.
Yeah, I mean, like we somewhat stopped because there wasn't enough interest in it. But I'm to the point where I don't care about that. I just want to finish it. We were having so much fun with it. We were halfway in the middle of Zeo, and DJ told me over the weekend, he was like, so it would have been really nice if we'd finished the series before we stopped. Because when we get back to it, we're going to be like, I don't remember what happened.
yeah, where were we again?
Okay, DJ, you want to throw out some more stuff?
This one is for Rasco. It's a super chat from Billy the Kid Lawrence. He says, Rasco, please quote Captain Cold's glorious "I hate fire" from Crisis on Earth X.
Please.
I hate fire. That's the best line of dialogue in the CW.
Oh my god, I really, really wish you'd come back for Crisis. Because you haven't watched it yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
It's
no.
insane.
Yeah, I'm sure it
It's
is.
insane.
Yeah. I remember that, like, after I mentioned that in the Crisis video that we did on that crossover, there, like, I found somebody had clipped just that line of dialogue and put that on YouTube, and I was like so happy because like it needed to be there. It needed to be a easily available reference for everyone to enjoy, and it existed
Now we
at
can
least
make a
for a
remix
while.
out of it.
He has a cameo in Crisis. They brought him back for one scene.
Is it that? Is it that or is it different one?
It's a different element. It's
I
like
think
nature.
it's a
He
Captain
hates
Cold
Earth.
from another universe? Question mark. I can't remember.
Who knows at this point? I don't know.
I don't remember. It was
The boys wanted to eat you.
It was real memorable. You know, like my son's birthday. DJ.
This isn't a question, but it's a super chat, so I have to read it real quick. He says, Dave Atkins says, love all the intros in Injustice 2 before the fights begin. Little things like that give the fighters in the game more personality. So I don't know if anyone wants to talk about that.
Sure.
Injustice 2?
I don't. I guess sure.
I
Wholly
Yeah. I mean,
What?
And I like it when the characters have a different thing that they say when you pick them with each other.
What's kind of nice with Injustice is that they will talk to each other. What's irritating about it in versus mode is that it's all story stuff, so you got to pretend like you're in that moment of the story. It's kind of weird, where it's just like, I just blew up this city, and I'm like, I'm in play story mode. I don't know what we're talking.
Spoilers.
That's not actually one. That doesn't. Yeah.
This one isn't from like the beginning of a fight, but I remember playing the first Injustice game, and like they only have one for every character, and Batman always goes, "Stay down."
Wait, does he say it like Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, he's like, no, he's like, "Stay down."
My favorite line in all of Injustice is there's a point when Aquaman's infiltrating, and he's pretending to be evil Aquaman. They're like, well, then there was a day Superman went crazy, and Aquaman's cover is, we all remember where we were that day.
My favorite line from Injustice is where Deathstroke's like, they made it personal when they tortured me.
Aquaman is really funny in Injustice 2 because they give him outrageous.
Do they?
They have him say it as like a taunt, like when you finish like the first part of the fight, and then like he knocks a guy down, and then he'll like bang his trident, right? He's like ding ding, they'll go like as dramatic and serious, but
Ding, 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 ding.
and it's great because it doesn't work at all.
Does he go, yeah?
My man.
Yeah, I wish they'd had skins in Injustice 2 because they would have totally had that one.
I want to get hit, and he does the goofy yell.
Okay, what else?
All right, we got a $10 super chat from Noah O.
Thanks so much.
He says, hey guys, as one of the few people who watched Real Talk Weekly, I love seeing Con and Rasco together again.
That's
And he also says, what are Vince's thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Oh.
Well, Paul Rudd was on my short list for guys that I wanted to be in the new Ghostbusters movie. So, and he's also from the KC area. So,
Oh, really?
KC representative.
I knew
Overland
that.
Park.
I went to my high school.
He went to.
I met him in 04. It was great.
And I think he comes back, if not yearly, then frequently.
Well, one because
because
Royals
he's-
games.
They have
Exactly,
this,
for some of the
charity
games.
thing that they do.
Yes.
With Jason Sudeikis.
Wouldn't it suck though, in a way, to get that famous, and every time you go back to your hometown, it's got to be like a big deal. There's got to be like parades and stuff. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to go visit your hometown?
One of the stores, not the store I worked at, but the one that closed,
Yeah.
the nearer one that closed.
Yeah.
He'll never go into one of our stores again because the manager lost it.
You told me this story.
Yeah, the manager lost it when Paul Rudd came in, and he left. And it was like, yeah, I'm not coming back.
How do you not just keep it together a little bit?
Yeah.
The trick is you think of something really weird that they were in and say you like them in that. Don't say you like Ant-Man. Like, be like, I really liked you in Halloween 6. Like the one that no one ever brings up.
Yeah,
So-
even at this point, Friends would be a better reference.
Yeah.
So
Would it be?
I really liked you in that thing I never saw.
You were not
great
like
in
man.
that.
Well, would it be
That's
weird
fair.
to say, hey, one orange slice? Is that too
When I went
That's
to the theater
weird.
for I Love You Man, I was the only person in the theater.
So,
That's funny.
I was laughing.
so Vince, but Ghostbusters.
Oh, that's right. Incidentally, how you keep it together is just keep it together. Anyway, that's how I felt about meeting Kevin Conroy in the bathroom, looking for a broken paper towel dispenser to work. He'd swipe, I'd swipe, he'd swipe, I'd swipe, and I looked up, went, oh, hi, Kevin. How are you, man? He was like, I'm good. I'm like, yeah. He'd swipe, I'd swipe. Anyway.
You know what I would have said?
Ghostbusters.
You know, if
Oh, I
I
get
don't know if you can do this.
I just thought it was funny.
What I would love to think I would do in that situation is just look him point blank in the eye and be like, "So Sub-Zero isn't really that good, right? Like, we can all agree on this, right? Like, your voice acting fine, but Sub-Zero not the best, right?"
I don't know. I've never seen it.
He's like, I listened to my parts.
Actually, that's probably what he would say, Jack. He'd be like, "Yeah, I didn't watch that one."
So,
Doesn't he constantly go on about how beautiful the CGI is?
Yeah,
I feel like that's a thing. Like he seems to like Sub-Zero, but solely for the polar bears running on the ice.
Well, I like those parts too. It's just a
That's
boring
the only
movie.
thing he brings up, but he always goes like, "I love the animation of that movie, like when the polar bears run on the ice."
I think if you brought up
you
Mystery of
say
the
when
Batwoman,
you-
he'd be like, we made a movie called Mystery of the Batwoman.
You're wrestling action? No, nobody else does either.
Yeah,
Didn't have polar
and
bears
you
in
just
it.
made that like 3 years ago.
Totally forgettable.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Isn't that what a person says when they don't like something? They focus on the one thing they did like.
No,
if
he
they
always
like?
seems positive. That's the thing he brings up.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not like somebody's like, hey, what do you think of Sub-Zero? Like, when Batman the Animated Series comes up, he always goes to Sub-Zero and how beautiful the animation is.
I didn't mean to distract. I just thought that was fun and interesting. Anyway, Ghostbusters. I like that Paul Rudd's in it. I like that it seems to focus on a smaller town. I am pretty jazzed about the notion that there is still a cult that is still doing things, or at least has set up multiple points of access to a different dimension, or to the afterlife, if you wish to call it that. I think that because of the movie, so I like the idea that I don't mind the kids. I like that there seems to be new tech in the movie, so they didn't just do nothing in between the end of 2 and the beginning of 3. So I don't mind that there's going to be kids in it. I feel like I can trust the director.
He's a great director.
Jason Reitman has done some amazing things. Thank You for Smoking was brilliant.
Yes, it is. So is Young Adult.
I did not see Young
You
Adult.
should see Young Adult.
I did see Juno. Juno was good.
She was all right.
But there are some times when everybody loves it, then I have to watch it. I'm like, all right, I got to study this, and then I go away thinking that was okay.
I would also recommend Up in the Air.
Yeah, I did see that. That was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Ooh, Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
It also has like
And
a
George
string
Clooney.
of movies that are not.
George Clooney.
I'm like a little worried that I have confidence.
Also, Norma Bates from Bates Motel.
Oh yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure at this point he has a better track record
Vera
than his father.
Vera
I
Formaldehyde.
do
I
one
love
about
her.
Skull, Kansas.
I just mean like hits versus misses. I think he has a better track record than his
Haunted
dad
Cemetery.
does.
Well, DJ, I'm seeing a bunch of super chats, man.
I have to go now.
Yeah, there's like a million of
I
them.
stayed next to
Okay,
15
Eric,
minutes.
thanks for hanging a bit, buddy. We'll see you later. Bye.
So clap at Eric.
Eric, ladies and gentlemen.
And Eric Exodus, otherwise known as an Erictidus.
And Adam Hendricks.
When did you get here, man?
Everybody is
The
brown
magic
coat
of
Adam.
television.
Okay, so I had to look at all the super chats. Here's hoping that none of them were directed just at Eric. And now,
Hope not.
questions. Go
Are all
ahead,
your
DJ.
pets called Eric?
All right, I have to get going here pretty soon too, but I'm gonna read as many as I can. Okay.
What?
We got one specifically for Rasco from Billy the Kid Lawrence. Not really for Rasco, just about Rasco. He says Rasco is like Paul Dano and Sam Huntington's DNA spliced together to create something way cooler. Respect.
I agree.
I don't know who that second person is.
And Paul Dano's cool.
Okay, so there are a bunch of super chats we haven't gotten to yet. Oh, luckily, I can see them.
They're all from Bag Studios. He's got like a theme going.
There's a bunch from Bag, but there's some other stuff. Spencer.
Yeah, I got 'em
your
all.
Brother.
Spencer put in a $10
Hey
super chat.
Spencer,
Yeah.
how you
Put in
doing?
a $10 super chat. So because
Hi,
you
Dr.
came here,
Reed.
Spencer gave us money.
Thanks, Spencer.
You can read it. It's your job.
Okay, I'll read it. That's my job. He says, "Hey guys, as one of the few people, psych, that's not the right one. I'm gonna scroll down.
No, it's
He
right.
says, Connor, talk about Klaus and why it's amazing.
So Klaus is Grant Morrison and Dan Mora's take on Santa Claus.
It's amazing.
It is incredible. The 7-issue miniseries is a perfect 10 out of 10 comic, in my opinion. It is basically kind of doing some kind of mythology. I don't know if it's Celtic, part Norse, part whatever. And it's taking a lot of the original concepts of Viking, Santa Claus stuff, and it kind of reinterprets a lot of what we associate from the coal to, coming up and down the chimney and how that's integrated. But it's just a great story.
It is the freshest spirit of giving story in
Yes.
a long, long time, right? Like, you get to the end of that, it's like, you've never read a story about why you should not hoard all your stuff and give things to other people.
It's like Grant Morrison heard somebody say, Thor is just like Superman, but a Viking. And then he went, no, that's Santa Claus. And then he made that. And
It's wonderful.
so
Viking
after...
Santa
Jeff,
Claus.
you like that book a lot. I should.
It's
give it
incredible.
to you.
But after the 7-issue miniseries, it's from Boom. It comes in a
Comes
very
down the
sexy
chimney
hardcover
and
if you choose to get
burns
that.
the town,
But there are a series of one-shots that come out every year that are like Christmas specials, and I've been a little disappointed by them because they're leaning more into like science fiction and fantasy as opposed to kind of what the essence of that original story was, but they're still really good.
They get a lot more Morrison-y than the first thing.
Absolutely.
The other thing I don't love about them is I want to read the big epic that they're all dancing around. Right?
Yeah, I want to read the War on the Moon. And Morrison said he might do that.
And I would have loved to have seen the War of Coke thing more fleshed out.
The Coca-Cola Company.
Yeah.
I think that of the specials, the last two have been better. Crying Snowman is great, and then The Life and Times of Joe Christmas was amazing. And next year,
it's entirely wordless.
It's basically an advent calendar that you kind of like read vertically, and they actually have holes at the top of each page that you can poke out.
But it's got a narrative over a bunch of years going back in time.
It's basically Memento, right? Where it's like you're going forward in time by like December 1, December 2, December 3, December 4, but you're going backwards in time by 3 years each page turn. And that's great, and there's just a lot in there about time and the nature of kindness throughout time that I really, really like, and forgiveness and children and how adults can be better for their children and how the children can grow up to be better than their parents. And it's very heartwarming and very sweet, and The Crying Snowman is the only comic book to ever make me cry. Loved it. So.
And also really impressive that a book with the word crying in the title actually made you cry. Like,
I was very vulnerably susceptible at the time, and it totally worked. It's like it was foreshadowing.
Hit you right in that spot.
We got me too, man.
It's so good.
That was impressive. What you just did would have taken me 20 minutes to do. That was really impressive. Good job.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you, Spencer. I love you.
Thanks, Spencer. Appreciate you, buddy. All right, what's next?
TH1 says, from the SSSS, how did each of you find Geekvolution?
Oh, cool.
So that was a question we talked about in the Secret Society.
Vince and I founded it, so he didn't find it. We founded it.
We founded it.
You found it by
Which
founding
sounds like a weird past participle of find.
Jeff obviously
Founded.
didn't have to find it because
101 verb
he's my
tenses for
stepdad,
time
and I
travelers?
told him I made it. But the first video we ever made together, Jeff, was, do you remember?
It was the monkey.
Well, yes, but the solution
Post.
was the tick conversation.
That's right.
Which is why it's kind of fun that we're going to do a tick project now. But yeah, so like, not really finding it, and then Brandon didn't find it because Brandon knew me already.
We made movies together
I
before
remember when
YouTube
it was
even
still
existed.
Well, that's true. Jeff and I were making
social media thing.
Jeff and I were making, and Vince was writing for me back during those days too. And we did a reunion video a couple years ago where we talked about the beginnings of Geekvolution, all that. And I didn't want to rehash all of that here, but you guys can go back and listen to that if you want to. But Jeff, wait, what was I talking about?
We made movies before
Jeff
YouTube
and I
even existed.
Made movies together years ago. I referenced one in a rewind I did last year. Did I tell you about that?
No.
So I did a
Was it Watch Out, Jar Jar?
It was. Well, okay, Watch Out Jar Jar was one of them. So I did a rewind on episode 1, and I opened it reading the entire book, Watch Out Jar Jar, and then I reference the commercials we made. See the new Star Wars movie, where it was like global warming got you down. See the new Star Wars movie. Just every horrible thing that was happening in the world was fixed by the Star Wars movie.
That's a level of hype that few could even aspire to.
Yeah, exactly.
We need it now more than ever.
But for folks that are not directly related to me or friends that live really close, and Adam, of course, also didn't have to find the channel because he was hanging out with us in Star Trek Club, and I started inviting him to videos. Eric, who left already, also didn't find the channel. I reached out to Eric and told him that I liked his stuff and wanted to collaborate, and he made a video about us, and that's how we first started getting some traction. So Eric has a lot to do with how we got to where we are today. So we really just have you guys. How did you guys find the channel?
We have a shared origin story.
I guess so. Yeah. A little
Bitten
bit.
by a radioactive.
Yeah.
But you guys would have had to have found the channel even outside of Who Reviews the Reviewers, though, right?
Yeah. You're right. I think the first video I ever saw was the X2 Superhero Rewind. I think that was the first thing that I ever found from Geekvolution, and then I watched a bunch of your rewinds, and then I entered Who Reviews the Reviewers, and that's basically it.
Well, thanks, man.
So how I found out about Geekvolution, there was a YouTuber named Laser Dude who at the time went by Laser Dude 99. I watched
remember him?
I watched a few of his videos, and at the time he had uploaded a video about the VHS, and in the parentheses it said Who Reviews the Reviewers, WRTR. and there was the same thing about the movie, the Doctor No. He reviewed Doctor No, and that's how I found out about Geekvolution. But I didn't.
So you actually found out about it through reviewers. I didn't know that.
And then, so then
Or you told me and I forgot.
I was kind of aware of Geekvolution, but I wasn't like a regular viewer. And then, because I saw you guys' videos were like 30 minutes long, I'm like, I'm in like middle school. I don't watch these things. And then,
makes me feel old.
In 2014, I had a job working at a bakery where I had to be at work at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning, and I just had like all this time to myself because everyone was asleep while I was awake and awake while I was asleep, and so I needed long form videos to keep me occupied.
Geekvolution certainly has plenty of that.
And so I watched a lot of rewinds, but what really kept me coming back to the channel was Spawn Year, and I loved Spawn Year, and it was still going on at that time. And Spawn Year is my favorite Geekvolution project to this day, and I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. I really like it, and I was actually surprised you had not seen any David Lynch stuff, or not even that big of a fan of David Lynch, because like the Spawn Year finale smelled so heavily of like David Lynch and the framing and all that sort of stuff. So I really
had zero inspiration from that.
So, anyways, then there was Who Reviews the Reviewers, and I was reminded of Laser Dude back in the day, and I said I gotta enter this. It's like serendipitous. Also, Klaus has great art by Dan Mora, and
so does Go-Go Power Rangers. Read that too.
And every single issue, whether it's the annual specials or the original 7 issue, they all have a distinct look, and they're all by the same guy. It's amazing. So, I'm done with Klaus.
You just read to say that.
Cool.
Okay, DJ, you gotta get going.
I found the channel through
sure.
your old Captain Vince's old
earlier
podcast.
You were like, I don't want to talk, so I just.
I used to listen to your podcast on the way to school because I had a long commute in college, and I think the first one I found was your podcast on realism with Rambo on the front. You guys remember that one?
No.
Defining realism. You guys tried to define realism for like 45 minutes, and it was pretty good.
Hey Vince.
Yes, sir.
I would imagine that was full of complete BS and nonsense.
That's fair. If we're being real right now. I don't remember.
Right.
Realistic.
But I'm gonna get serious. for a minute because Bags
Sorry, go ahead.
Bags Studios.
My favorite night of the round table.
I'm sorry, DJ. We're listening. Go ahead.
Bags Studios said something very, very sweet, and he said he spread it over 5 super chats. So I'm gonna just read them all through. He says, "Suffice to say, people can often get into dark places. Life can be very hard when you feel alone. You all taught me no one is ever truly alone. Thank you, each one of you. Your impact is greater than you know. Keep it up, and here's to a great 2020s."
Thank you.
Truly,
Cheers
no
to
one's
you
alone.
as well, sir.
Yeah, and thanks to Bag, that was really sweet, buddy. He has been a longtime subscriber and a longtime supporter of the channel. He is donated a lot to the channel. He has given me a whole bunch of requests that I haven't done yet.
Shame.
And they're totally going to happen. But he's the reason, Jeff, that I did episode 1.
Oh, cool.
And then he's going to make me review
I was there for that.
the other 2. And oh yeah, I made you watch that with me when I watched it the first time. Yeah, you were. That was fun. We're also doing Attack of the Clones. Sorry, what?
I'll come watch them with you.
Oh really? Well, we'll do it. No, it'll be great. But yeah, Bag is amazing. We really appreciate you. Bag has also been a part of the Geekvolution writing workshop. He hasn't been the last few meetings, but he's written some cool, really fascinating stuff. So I've actually workshopped that guy. And yeah, he's great. Really appreciate him. And talk to him every so often in Messenger and stuff. So what's next?
I got one more super chat, which is good because then I'm gonna have to jet out. But
okay, cool.
Thanks for having me. I really wanted to be here. I've never talked to Brandon, Adam, or Vince in person, so it was really cool to meet you guys.
Do you have anything you really want to say to them? Because you may never see them again.
Don't say that.
No, I'm just a big fan, and it's really cool to see you guys. I always saw Rascal once. We did an Infinity War commentary,
Yeah,
so good to see you again. And I know
lag in that video?
Yes, the lag.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, it's
Very cool.
I was gonna say, you know what we should do? We should do a video in person where we pretend like we're live and we have like a million technical difficulties, but we're in the room together.
What?
I can't hear you.
Look.
Like one person freezes, but another person, and then like, or one person just leaves the room and like, we lost him. I don't know what happened to that guy.
be able to
Hopefully he
pixelate.
comes back.
Like live glitching, just like.
And then you just keep hearing the Skype ring in the background. It's like, I can't get him back. And then finally he comes back and he's like, I had to reset my whole computer.
If Dan ever comes to Kansas City, Dan has to leave a few times because he would always drop out during Who Reviews the Reviewers.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Vince, there's totally a video in that, man.
Like get off, walk off and go to the bathroom or something.
Dan will look that way. I'll
Middle
pick him up
sentence.
and throw him.
Just mid sentence.
So DJ, are we losing you, man?
Like Sopranos.
Yeah, I'm going to read this last one, which fittingly is from Jeffrey E. Patron, another channel guy.
Is that
He
in the
says-
super chats? Because we could go ahead and close up here.
Yeah, this is the last super chat that I have, yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it because we've been at this a little over an hour, and if you're leaving, that probably makes the most sense, and then we can all just hang out after the show.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I hate not doing more pre-written, but guys, DJ and I will be back for the Captain Logan show on Thursday. Quick mention and plug for this: we're going to be doing a Watchmen spoiler cast with Dan Torrey. He's going to be there for that, and then Dan is going to hang out with us through Captain Logan After Dark that night too. And so we'll have me and Brandon and DJ and Dan on Captain Logan After Dark, and that's going to be
Well, that's cool.
really cool and exciting. Yeah, and we'll be the second one in a row with more than 2 people.
Yeah.
Which is weird. It's like that seems to be just the show that's easiest for people to show up to. We only do it for 100 people, and there's more people on that show than anything else we do, except for right now. So anyway, but come back on Thursday, and that starts at all of that madness starts at 7 o'clock. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap up here real quick. DJ, what else you got?
Jeffrey E. Patron, $5 super chat, says, I love Geekvolution reunions, especially when Cap runs on the ice.
On the ice. What
I
is
don't understand it. I was hoping one of you guys
Sorry,
would.
The only time I can think that I did that was sort of Spawn year, when I ran through snow. But I'm not sure
You
what else we're talking
physically
about.
ran through snow in like 2 different locations. That
With-
was.
Is it a song lyric? I'm guessing with Jeffrey it's a
maybe
song
it's a
lyric.
song.
He had
It's
a
like running with scissors, but
one of the videos he made. He was running. It was dang it, Spawn year. He literally was running through town. You ran into like the
That's
mall.
what I was just referring to. That's the only thing I can think of. It
Oh,
wasn't
I
really
completely
running.
tuned everyone else out trying to think what it was.
We were talking about the
us.
physical running
Yeah,
through
that's what we're talking
snow.
about. But he said reunions, and I was like, that wasn't a reunion, so I'm not really sure what he's referring to. Anyway,
He clarifies in
Okay,
the comments the Bears on the ice,
Oh.
which is just as cryptic.
The Bears on the ice.
Sub-Zero,
Yeah,
you guys
Sub-Zero.
did for-
Oh, okay.
and now it's a Jeffrey show. And it's odd how close Jeffrey's humor is to Jeff's humor.
Is he calling you a polar bear?
I think he's my good twin.
You're good to it. You're
I
the
know this
evil one.
setup was awkward, and I'm sorry for having to lord over you guys and talk behind you. But thanks so
you're
much
not.
for
Is
all
that
of you
any
guys.
different than usual? No. Just
Well, I didn't want to. That's the only reason I did it. But agreed.
Sick burn.
Anyway, everybody, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and end off now with DJ leaving and that being the end of the super chats. But we will be back with you again, DJ and I and Dan, on Thursday. Tons of videos coming out this week. It's a big week. I've got a whole bunch of things happening. A bunch of stuff that DJ and I shot. So look forward to those. DJ was like a slave driver while I was there. All he wanted to do was make videos. He's just like Dan. Except I think we made as many videos in 2 days as Dan and I made in 5 when I was there over the summer. So anyway, lots of fun stuff coming, and Connor and I are probably going to shoot 1 or 2 things tomorrow. So more stuff from us as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and you guys are great. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
And now I have to awkwardly go around you to turn off the stream. But anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you next time. Yeah, got for it. Very cool. No, keep it going. Keep it going.